Well, good afternoon, everyone. Hey, this is Tani Lee with Tani Lee TV, Healing Hearts in 12 Steps. And today I am so honored that I get to invite one of my friends on today. I met her probably about a year and a half ago at Sticker Shock. It was her first time of ever speaking, and she was such a joy. I just love the spirit within this woman, and I love the fact that she's just transparent. She is who she is, and as she says, even at her older age. And so this is Ann LeMaster. Welcome, Ann. I am so glad that you're here today.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Tani. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you. Well, when I first heard you talk, it was your very first time you said, and you were so nervous.
Oh,
Oh, I know. And then I got to hear you speak again. I think it was like in March last year. I forget.
March was my first one, and then
Okay, and then in
September was the
August we
second
did
one.
it again. That's
August,
what it was. Yes,
yeah.
and such a difference.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, because you had just went out there and you had learned so much more about yourself
Mhm.
and you were more comfortable with yourself. And now look at you. You're doing your own podcasts. You're out there speaking. And I am so blessed and so excited that you're going to be at my conference in June to speak.
Yeah, me
So,
too.
what a journey you've been on, young lady.
Oh, and I tell everybody, I'm 73 now, and I have never been this happy or fulfilled feeling in my life. I'm scared to death of technology, but I'm tackling it little by little, and I have to have a lot of help sometimes, but I'm not pushing it away like I used to. I'm not inviting it, but it comes and it's like, okay, so I'm not a techie person.
Well, some of us just aren't, but we do learn. And you've amazed me because you've learned so much. So give yourself some credit there, girls. So
Oh,
you're,
this was
you're
a
not afraid to try. That's the big thing. You're just not afraid to try to do something. And if you mess it up, you just tell everybody, well, I just messed it all up.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's
I
right
think
there.
it was a competition speech, and I went over on the time limit. I said, "Oh, well, I'm over anyway. I guess I'm not going to have a chance, So I finished my blurb. Well, I got critiqued on that. That was a no-no. I wasn't respecting the time, but well, I learned. I learned on that. So yeah, but to me, I love to learn. It's a journey, and when you said I try, well, I think my biggest advice to anybody, unasked for advice, would be an example that I have of myself that November of 21, I was presented the idea that this is something you should try, Anne. And I'm thinking, well, I really don't know. It's going to be a little pricey. I don't know. Should I? Shouldn't I? Whatever. And I said, oh, well, I'm going to learn something. So, okay. And that's when I signed up for the sticker shock, the first one. And I look back on that and I could have let the money stop me or my fear or whatever. And instead, I did it. And had I not, I'd be sitting here today and I would have said, what if I would have, what if I could have, should have done it? What would I be? I'd be where I was, working for the man, plugging through life. Or, okay, I spent some money. I was blessed to have saved. and I'm on an incredible journey. I'm meeting so many neat people. Everybody is equal. The people. I don't care your color, your age, we're human. We're equal in that
Right.
we're human. We've had different situations in our life that make us different. But I'm just overwhelmed with how many wonderful people that I've met. And one of the gals I work with, I do biometric screenings as a nurse, and she says, "And when you're rich and famous, don't forget us little peons." And I said, "Oh, Luan, I could never forget my little peons because I'm one of you. You guys are one of me. Your belief in me, your encouragement has helped me to keep going. Nobody has said, "Oh, Anne, you can't do that." Who do you think you are? The old me, who a year ago I kicked her out of my life. Because believe me, nobody can beat themselves up like I did after I froze on stage at my very first sticker shock. And for 2 weeks, I beat myself up, and then I changed my hair, my appearance, everything, attitude, mindset. Mindset has now
Mindset.
become a very popular word with me, and I never thought of the phrase like that. But it's, your mindset. What are you going to do? Whatever. It's such a common term for me now.
That's right. And that's so amazing. Yeah. We've learned a lot about that word, haven't we?
Haven't we
And
though?
yeah, and especially, through the journeys that we've been through and that type of stuff like that, because we've had to set our mind on not just surviving, but thriving.
Yes.
I don't want to just survive. I want to thrive.
Yes.
Because later in life, we are finally given a chance to be who we really were supposed to be at the very beginning.
Mm,
But yeah, so we're going to thrive at what we're doing, right?
right. Yeah. So far, so good. And I'm loving the journey.
Right. Oh, I can tell you are, because you are. You just smile to smile all the time.
Yeah, and I really think I'm aging younger. I say I am, and I feel I am because I'm not down anymore. I'm
Right.
feeling good about me and my situation in life and everything, and that makes anybody look younger.
That's exactly right. It does. Because the whole inside reflects on the outside.
Right.
All of these people that, they're so upset with themselves because they're aging or whatever. And if they would start looking at their heart and their
Mhm.
soul, their spirit, yeah, and,
Yeah.
and changing it, their mindset on what they're going to be. And besides, is there anything that you can do so badly that it's not fixable? I mean, it's like death is about the only thing that's permanent, right?
Right.
But it seems like even if you mess up, things are still fixable, right?
Right. Right.
So, and during that mix up time, you learn, right?
Right.
We've
Right.
learned that.
You learn
Yeah.
from your mistake.
So I don't think that there's anything that you can mess up so bad that it can't be fixed.
Right.
And it's a learning process.
Yeah. It might not be the same. I mean, you break a leg and now it's a little bit shorter,
Oh,
but you can
sure.
still walk. You know.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And you just add that to your scars, the battle scars that make you who you are. Trust
Exactly.
me, I've got plenty of them.
Right. Right.
73 years worth of them. So,
I know. Yeah. Well, you're a trooper, let me tell you. Okay, Anne, so this is something that I'm curious about because I know a little bit about nursing and medicine and all of that type of stuff. It's just in my family. In fact, when I was in high school, I was a nurse's aide and I
mm,
loved it. And I got to be with my grandma until her very end as
oh,
her aide, but also the granddaughter, But
well,
so, what is the biotech nurse?
the
Is that
bio
you?
screening, it's the little finger stick where you do your sugar and your lipid,
Oh,
cholesterol.
mm-hmm,
Mhm.
mm-hmm.
So I
And
did.
that's what you do in the lab?
No, we go from one company to another, and this happens to be.
Oh, okay.
Well, this is a company I work for, and I did my own today, and so we just um, put down here what they are and go over it and tell people where they are on it. And we can't tell them what to do, particularly, go to your doctor. But
Right,
I always give them a little bit of tidbit because I love to learn and I love to share that knowledge. So
right.
can I share a tidbit?
Yes, you may.
Okay. Sugar. Everybody's doing sugar. Well, when I went to nursing school, doctors are almost a god. And I would be this far away from them, right? Now I can be right up in their face. And and then like with diabetes, they'll put you on metformin. What can you do to fix it? Where is it about diet? So I read something not too long ago, which I already had implemented because intuitively I know so many things. Um, I would tell somebody, I'd say, Connie, if you're drinking a diet soda, it tastes sweet, right? And you're going to say, yeah.
Yes,
Okay, then if your tongue tastes sweet, isn't your brain going to trigger pancreas pump out some insulin?
yes,
Yes, to me that's common sense.
right.
But yet it's not sugar, so it's okay. A diabetic can drink the fake sugar. And I question, why would you encourage them to drink something that tastes sweet? Because I think that the liver is still going to react. It doesn't know the difference between it's a chemical sweet or a natural sweet.
That's true.
So with that is one step, but then you take it further. Your liver, we have so much toxic liver overloads anymore because we're putting toxic chemicals on our skin. We're using hair color, whatever that goes, into the skin, into the cells, and our hair and fingernails are alive. And with the chemicals that are in our food, that's why I am an advocate for organic.
Right.
So all these chemicals, toxic chemicals, go into our body in washing clothes even. And the liver produces fat cells to encapsulate that toxin.
The
So
toxins.
we keep getting more fat cells and we keep getting fatter and fatter as we
Mhm.
still drink our diet sodas. You see, it's this constant thing. And well, I get on a rampage and I don't want to have you get blocked or anything, censored, I should say. But who's making the money and at whose expense?
Expense. Exactly.
That
I
my
totally agree with that one.
my
Yes.
expense as the patient that gets the pills from the doctor who is paid a kickback, if you will. Big pharma is making money off of selling that drug, and now I have to have X, Y, or Z kind of surgery or whatever because all this slew of pills didn't help, or dialysis or something. And in the
Exactly.
meantime, I'm feeling miserable as a patient, and yet the medical system got paid very well between insurance and private pay. So I think things are going to come around big time. I think so.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, because I completely agree. And I can tell you that the people within this platform agree with that whole scenario as well.
Oh, good.
So, because yes, because there are big people up there, um, and they're not thinking of us. They're
No,
only thinking of their pocket.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
and they've done it to the animals as well.
absolutely.
Pet
Yep.
industry. I mean,
Just like, yep, this
we.
whole COVID thing.
Ah,
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
I know it's so sad,
It is.
and yet we're still censored about it. And initially, I wasn't against it till I heard the word experimental, and then I went into it more. If you have, I can't do the twist like that, but the RNA and DNA, and it
Right.
twists, like that.
Yes.
Yeah, and one's DNA, one's RNA. And I'm sorry, you're messing with one side of it, you're messing with it. And the DNA is right in line with source, with God.
That's right. Because his DNA is in us. They
Yes.
have proven that because it turns out to be a cross in there.
Ah, I didn't hear that.
Oh, yes. Louis Giglio. Oh, my goodness. Yes, because, and then he will say, well, why do you think that the symbol of health of the hospital is a cross?
Yes, and that
And the snake that goes
yes.
in. Mhm. Yes.
Mm,
In your DNA, there is a cross symbol.
mm,
And I forget exact. I mean, you got to go down and down and down, and you know about this. And I forget exactly, but yes, Louis Giglio did that, and then he's the one that did the um, the video and the information on the black hole. And as you look through it, you could see the cross on the other side of that as well.
oh my,
Yes,
goosebumps.
yes, it's on YouTube. Yes.
Mm,
So yes, God made us uniquely. I mean, that's, as you
yeah,
have heard, Psalms 139 is just, something that has spoken to me because he formed us in our mother's womb,
yeah,
and he created us. So why would we not have his DNA, right?
exactly, exactly.
So yeah.
That the evil wants to mess up so
Well,
much.
yeah. And what better way to do it, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And then when the world is all shut down, what are they doing behind the scenes?
Yeah.
That was my question. Yeah. So we can go on and on about that one, right?
Yeah, we could. I just really truly believe in my heart that I call it devil. Well, you can say God or the devil, evil or good, whichever way that a person wants to say it. But I look at the evil part as being the spoiled little brat that wants their way, and they will burn down the house, by gosh, just so that you can't sleep in my bed,
That's
whatever, and they're hurting themselves and they won't win because God already has.
right.
But there's
Exactly.
got to be enough people that are believers to get us out of this, excuse
Yes.
the term, shithole we've dug ourselves into.
Yes. I completely agree.
Yeah.
Because look at all of the not Christians or religious people, but the believers that he is bringing into offices.
Yes.
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 Yes. I
And
agree.
even they're
Yep.
crossing, platforms and stuff. People are waking
Yes.
up. They're
Yep.
waking up.
Yep.
And
Yep.
it's
And
awesome.
people are tired of the way things have gone.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
I agree.
The
Yep.
smart people are.
Right. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
Easter this weekend, we were with family, and one particular one says, "I'm a Democrat all the way. I'm voting Biden again. I've always been a Democrat, always will be a Democrat." And it's like, oh, I don't care who you vote for, but vote for the one that's the best person,
Exactly.
but that represents the best.
Yeah, because it's not like it used to be where you could vote for the Democrats and it could be a good person, right?
Right,
But anymore, it is not that way. You have to vote for the person that is going to do the best job for America.
right.
And the person that got voted in, or whatever you want to call it, is not doing a good thing for America at all.
No,
Not at all.
no, I
No,
can't believe
when
how.
you sell our soul, yeah, that's not okay. That is just not okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's go on to all of the amazing things that has happened in Ann's life lately.
Okay, well, sitting on the job today, and it was a little bit of a dry spell, so I started jotting down something, and I would like to share it.
Well, yes.
So I say, Ann LeMaster is a dynamic woman, and she describes herself as a late bloomer. She enlisted in the U.S. military at the age of 31, received her LVN nursing license at 45, and last year, at 72 years old, launched her current career as a public speaker, author, and her Common Sense Living podcast. She inspires young, old, and anywhere in between to become more, to go after their dreams, no matter their age, gender, or the obstacles life has placed in their path. So, no matter how life has treated you, use it, don't let it use you. And I thought that was a pretty dynamic statement. Use what
Very.
life has given you, don't let it use you.
That's right. Yep.
And with
That's
that,
amazing.
I don't have let's see, Common Sense Living. It's on I could hold up this is, if anybody can see that up close. Whoops, I'm not used to this camera. Okay, up and up. There, that's my Common Sense Living podcast. And then this is the book that just launched probably, here we go, about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I just sold one yesterday, and it's talking about my spiritual experiences in there. And on page 27, if you know anything about auras, this is a picture. Whoop, I'm not used to that. This is a picture of my aura. And there's a little bit of green in here, but this one here has the white and some pink to it. Anyway, I just thought that's interesting. I like having the auras done because it's representative of the energy. The blue and the green is healing and love, and I don't even remember what the pink and the white and all that. And with that, I don't know what a red orb is, but those are, well, what was it? Somebody who had taken it said that there's like 9 orbs, and they kind of run into each other, and that's all your ancestors of some sort. And
Oh,
I went to the elephant sanctuary here in Texas a couple of weeks ago with a friend. And so I just snapped a picture on my iPhone of the savannah out there, which was Texas ground, of course. But and then looking back at the pictures, so I'm snapping pictures, right? Looking back at them, there's this. Here's the picture, and whoa. Well, anyhow, right down here at the bottom of the picture is a red orb, just like a little ball is there. Oh, that was strange. And she looks at her camera. No, she doesn't have it on hers. then when I looked through the pictures later, I saw over here, we're sitting under a tent, and over here, there was a round ball in red. And then the next picture was this one, and the next picture, the whole camera thing was red. It's like it was right there in front of the camera, and it's like I have yet to figure out what that red meant. But she looked up something about what does a red orb mean, and it was something about protection. And I'm thinking, I'm not worried about the elephant; they're not going to attack me. They were very calm and all that, but things like that happen to me all the time, and I welcome it.
Wow.
I enjoy it.
Huh.
I think it's kind of
Yeah,
fun.
I've never encountered that. So wow, that's
You got
interesting.
you got to hang with me more. Because she hadn't had that happen either. And she's wondering why it didn't happen to her.
Yeah, wow.
Why did it happen to me?
So red is protection. Well, to me that resonates and makes sense because my father's blood is red and his blood over me, over my home, over my family is the shield of protection. I
Yeah,
plead his blood all the time. So
yeah,
that
that's
yeah,
true. I hadn't looked at it that way, but yeah, I
that
like
makes
that.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that resonates to be that way. So
Hmm.
wow. Well, tell me a little bit about your book, or tell our listeners a little bit about the book that you wrote, because I'm so proud of you.
Well, I wanted to write a book about my story. And at the Inner Beauty Conference last year, I was the MC, and I was talking to um, Sherry and her husband Dan, and Sherry was one of the speakers, and she was originally from a kingdom of light here in San Antonio, but she's from Baptist descent. Anyhow, we're talking, and I was saying something about the story or something, and he said, "You need to write your spiritual stories now." And he's standing over here on this side of me, and it's almost like somebody took and pushed me that way because it wasn't like that. It was just like a gentle push, and I said, yes, I do. I need to write my spiritual stories now because the world needs to hear them. So this is all on my spiritual stories, and I want to share the one that touches my heart the most. And it was 7 years ago in November. So back behind me there, that closet thing with a black door, that's my far infrared sauna.
Oh,
And
mm-hmm.
I'm sitting in there and I come out, I'm so hot. I said, sweetie, I got to go outside and cool off. No sooner do I sit on the porch in the swing, and the porch is higher, so you got a 3 foot drop. I sat down, I saw my grandma, my dad, and my nephew all at me like this. For me. And then no sooner did I say those words, I said, oh, for me to tell my mother. So the following week, I was going back to Iowa. And now Oma died at 72, my dad at 71 from a brain tumor, and my nephew in a car accident at 24. They looked in perfect health, just as I remembered them. Never saw him before, never saw him after. I go home and I tell mom, and I said, Mom, you won't believe it, but they're waiting for you. When you see them, take a hold and go, because it's important when somebody's on the tail end of their life that you give them permission to go. Because
Absolutely.
they want to hang here for you. So mom has dementia and she looked this way. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. She looked this way and that. And it's as though she saw them and she's going to go with them. But oh, what? Oh, she just heard the door. I can't go. Oh, I got to stay here with my kids. So I said, Mom, go. We'll be okay. You go. They're waiting for you. And I know you want to go with them. So go. And so she passes 4 months later. And with that, my sister had put her in respite care. My sister was the caregiver. Mom lived with her for like 10 years. And so my sister puts her in respite care. And 45 minutes later gets a call that says that mom had fallen and she doesn't look like she's going to last very long. So my sister calls me Saturday morning and says, they said you better come home. Mom fell and, she's not doing well. So you probably should come home if you want to see her in a sensible state, right? So I'm making my reservation to go on Monday because my sister sometimes can like embellish a little too much. And my charge card wouldn't go through. And I says, Robert, sweetie, can you help me figure out what's wrong with my card? It won't go through. It's a good card. The phone rings and my sister says, they said come as soon as you can because she didn't have much time. So I changed it to leave on Sunday. Card went right through. So that was a God thing.
Right.
So I told her the story, and she passed 4 months after I had my experience with my three ancestors, and I wrote her obituary in 15 minutes. And I put that in the book as well,
Oh,
because my book is to honor my family and my ancestors, and in sharing my stories that honors God, because I feel He's using me because I'm brave enough to face um, the naysayers that say that I'm making it up and whatever. Because one girl told me, "Oh, Ann, that's of the devil," and I said, "Oh no, it can't be of the devil. My light shines too bright. Devil can't get within a foot of me. He can't touch me." And I really feel that way. And the more you profess that kind of mental attitude, the more the devil can't get you, because you're saying you're covered with God. How can it? So anyhow, that was my favorite story in there. But I saw one. The first chapter is on my nephew, and he was he he was a son I never had because I never had children. So I always felt he was my best friend, the son I never had, and my nephew. And anyway, we were up in northern Iowa with a three-wheeler, and he didn't come back for the longest time. And I saw him upside down in the ditch with a three-wheeler on him. And 2 weeks later, that's how they found him, upside down the creek bed inside his car. And he was gone. And he was a wonderful young man. So, and there's way more about that in my book too. That I can't point fingers at anybody, but I put a hint in there if anybody is a lawyer and would like to do a little sleuth work about $1 million insurance policy on my nephew, that would be kind of interesting.
wow.
Is
Oh
that
my goodness.
it? Yeah,
Sad.
yeah,
Yeah. Oh
yeah.
my gosh, Ann.
So,
Wow.
and then I have a favorite story. I even have his picture here. This, and I honor him. There we go. Dave. When I'd go back to Iowa, we'd dance together. He's the one that really got me to believe in God. And he had a near death experience in the dentist's chair when he was, I think, 16. But anyhow, he and I danced whenever we'd go back to Iowa, and we danced so well together. We could talk so well together. And so I honored him in my book, and I was impressed with my own book.
Well, yeah, and I still need to order my copy, and I just keep forgetting, but yes, I need to get that. So, tell me real quick, and then I'm gonna leave the rest to you to talk to our audience. But what what made you think of the title Heavenly Sent?
Then
I
oh,
love that.
thank you, because I love the cover. My publisher did a great job. Purple
Yes,
is the spiritual color.
yes.
And if you see, oops, here is like a rod of light. Okay, that is called a hara. And I bought 20 acres in Iowa from my mom long before she ever got sick. And 2 weeks before I bought it, I was on my knees facing west in prayer position. And all of a sudden, at my belly button, this boom, rod of light shot into the earth and up into the sky simultaneously. And I didn't know what that meant. And a couple of years later, because I do healing touch energy work on people and animals, and it was the Healing Touch for Animals program that was talking about the hara. That is our connection with the universe and the earth as one, that makes us all connected as one. And so that is honored with this here. And then the clouds behind are like roiling thunder clouds, is what I call it. And somebody will say, "You mean rolling?" And I said, "No, roiling, Roiling, because they're tumultuous, rolling,
Right.
and
Mhm.
me forward so that I will share my messages with the world." So to me, that cover had meaning, and the word heaven sent, because that's what I named the 20 acres in Iowa, because it's to me it was representative of the earth being from God. That's that little spot, because I would never plan on building other than one house on it, and it's still sitting there bare. Um, and then the scent of flowers and stuff, and the word sent. So an opportunity is sent to you. So I could have done it that way, but no, to me it was of flowers, because flowers is nature. So anyway, I just thought it was kind of cool.
That is phenomenal. Well, there is always a story to what we name it, right?
Right.
Um, yeah. So that's amazing. I just wondered, because people have said, like my dad passed away, and came back to life, and
Mm.
so he got a sniff of what heaven smelled like. So I just kind of wondered if that's what
Oh,
it
how
was
cool.
related to. So yeah.
Well, I can tell you another one about scent.
How
Um,
cool.
After mom died and I came home and I planted a Shasta daisy in the ground and I said, "This one's for you, mom," as I tucked it. And it's a Sunday and I always soak after I'm in the garden on Sundays. That's my Sunday soak in magnesium, um, Epsom salts. No
Mhm.
food did I get in that tub and I smelled roses. I said, now, the windows are closed. The rose bush doesn't smell that strong anyway. I want rose oil, but it's too expensive. Thank you, mom.
Right?
Just it rolled off my tongue like that. Then I realized it was mom saying thank you
Oh,
because I planted the flower in
yes,
her honor.
right. Oh my gosh.
So,
That's amazing. That is so amazing.
oh, see, and I welcome those things. It touches me, and I feel connected with everybody and everything that way. I feel blessed that I have these experiences, and so therefore I accept them, I welcome them, and more happens.
Well, I have a weird question for you. Do you have Indian descent in you? Are you related to the American Indians or?
Well, isn't that interesting? Yes, there's a story. And I wouldn't know what, well, I had a reading done and it's supposedly of the Chippewa tribe. But let's see, my great grandma on my dad's side supposedly had an affair with an Indian. And that's how that story goes. I asked my mom about that and she said, yeah, well, that's how the story went. And then my great grandma and grandpa got divorced and all the kids had this nose, like, you think with the Indians, that kind of, yeah. So
Hmm,
yeah, I think so. I think so because I am I'm fascinated and highly respectful of the Indians. And I think because the indigenous people know the connection with the earth. And we as people in this country used to know it. But then
right,
we got a touch of, oh, the money and the farm's not good enough for us. We're going to go in the city and, whatever. And we kind of lost touch. And in losing touch with that constant touch with the earth, we've lost touch with ourselves. And
that's right.
so we're walking around lost.
Right. Oh,
So
definitely.
every crumb that's thrown at us, and that comes back to the COVID shot. We're afraid. So okay, give me that shot. No, I even said last September, I think COVID was the best thing happened for me. And the audience is whoa like that. I said I spent 2 years outside in the sun, getting God's sunshine on me, playing
Exactly.
with his
Yeah,
plants and his critters. Oh, I was not living in fear. I still don't live in fear. I refuse to live in fear.
exactly. No,
It just kills your vibration. So,
right. Well, and just by the way that you've been talking about, with the earth and stuff, which I mean, our heritage is that because of all of the farming and all of that type of
right.
stuff. And they did that right away when they came here. But that's what made me think that you maybe, have some of
Yes. And
that
I'm sure that's probably
DNA
why.
in you. Yeah. So, huh, that's interesting.
Oh my
All right.
goodness.
Well, we got just a minute or so, so I want you just to leave a message for our listeners.
Oh my. Where should I start? I have so many. I guess it goes back to um, maybe look back at yourself when you were a child. What was your dream? What did you really want to do? And maybe, well, like I said, life happens. You got married too young, maybe. Maybe you didn't get married, whatever. Went to school, didn't go to school, wanted to go to school, but couldn't because now you have kids, the family, whatever. But whatever was in your heart as a child, it's probably the true thing that you wanted to do in your life. And my father had told me as a child, children are to be seen and not heard. So I buried my voice. So it took me how many years to dig it up? And now I speak. And I have all the things that have happened in my life to pull on. I call it the ammunition to be able to to relate to somebody. I can relate to most everybody about something. And don't be afraid. Just go and do it. Because what have you got to be afraid of? If you're afraid to try it, then you'll never know that you could have succeeded and done what you wanted and touched the world and just made yourself so much happier. Yeah, anyway, life is just great. Just know that life is great.
Oh, I love that. And thank you so much. You are just so amazing. And every time that we talk, you just energize me, you lift me up, you encourage me, and you inspire me.
Oh,
So
thank you.
thank you so much. Thank you for joining me on my TV show.
Yeah, I appreciate
Well,
you.
that's it for today. And I hope that you have been inspired. Oh my goodness. Doesn't she just lift you up? And doesn't she just make you smile and your heart feels so good? I encourage you to get her book, Heavenly Sent.
Heaven's sake.
And her, yes, there it is. And it's Ann LeMaster at yahoo.com. So get in touch with her today. All right. Have a blessed afternoon, everyone, in Jesus' name.
Bye.